To answer how the Rose Mandala resolves the science and religion debate, we must go deeper. We must philosophically review the general purposes of religion and science, and answer how and why it may ever be the reasonable, loving thing to do to tie the two fields of human endeavor together. And let's start with science. In one simple sentence, why does science exist? Science, via the scientific method, is simply a rigorous way to figure out what is true and most reasonable about this physical reality. And for some, the need to figure out what's true in this reality may be stronger than for others, and this may be because of a difference in experiences or awareness of the beauty of the natural world. Participating in science can be seen as a circular, spiraling process. Empirical observations are brought together to induce or hypothesize ever better, more holistic theories. Logical conclusions or testable predictions are deduced from theories. And aside from its technological usefulness, we can be interested in how our scientific awareness of natural truth can refer meaningfully back to us. Let's also mention that the scientific attempt to figure out, and normally arrive asymptotically at, the truth gains from being an objective process, where the consensus of many observers beyond yourself and theirselves is required. Whatever science's flaws are regarding its amorality, the modern scientific method's success at telling us what is physically true has been unparalleled by an order of magnitude over any other way of acquiring knowledge about the natural reality. And for humanity, the unavoidable proof of this has been that modern technology has resulted from modern science. Whether the technology is good or bad, or if how it's been applied is moral or immoral, the technology that we're all using nonetheless is proof of the incredible power of science to understand the laws of nature. And now religion. Why does religion exist? Well, religion is a socially organized way to find meaning in one's life. And that's meaning with a capital M that allows one to love this existence enough to carry on with passion through hardship. And for some, the need to find meaning in this life may be stronger than for others, and this may be because of a difference in experiences or awareness of suffering and injustice. An important way to paraphrase the previous sentence is religions are social constructs that prescribe paths for individuals to learn to connect, love, and accept what the religion's members think the ultimate nature of reality is. Of course, finding and living one's faith regarding the desire and ability to connect to one's perception of ultimate reality is also a circular, spiraling process. Because we can't seem to help but hope that the love and acceptance of ultimate reality, typically called God, will also help ourselves out, i.e., create meaning in our personal lives. Notice that in the end, as individuals, the religious need to find meaning by connecting to, loving, and accepting the larger reality, or God, is different from the objective, social nature of establishing scientific truth. Religious spirituality follows a subjective or personal path, more or less, and a religious culture or organization may hopefully offer benevolent guidance, but in the end you choose to follow your spiritual path, to find faith about why your own life has meaning. And as an aside, beyond the core definition of God as ultimate reality, the current theistic versus atheistic debates about the nature or existence of God are simply red herring arguments, inspired by the ego's need to feel more secure than reality will grant. If one considers how astronomically vast, majestic, and beautifully comprehensible we now know the universe to be, then many arguments about the nature of ultimate reality beyond the known universe are irrationally self or human serving. As examples, The angry arguer for theism is likely to be more concerned about the importance of God loving humanity, resulting in salvation, than they are about humanity loving God for what is most obviously awesome and wonderful about God, the observable reality. And the angry arguer for atheism is likely to be more concerned about the importance of how, to them, no personal, sentient God seems involved in this world than they are about the importance of loving what is ultimately real. Science offers a spiraling path to natural truth, and religion offers a spiraling path to ultimate meaning. Both have valid, different purposes, and each side should attempt to own the other's valid, rational, non-manipulative concerns in the debate. And if we assume both science and religion are necessary and valuable parts of the human experience, would it ever be useful to pull the two circle spirals together? Consider that in order to live in this reality, we need to know two basic things. Number one, we need to know what the meaning of existence is. Another way to put that is we need to know from moment to moment and in general what we ought to do with our existence and why we should even care about living life. Number two, we need to know what the truth is about what is real so we can work with reality to accomplish number one. But these two needs form a kind of dialectical, as in dialogue, circle, because in order to know what the meaning of life is, or what you ought to do, you have to be in touch with what the larger reality is, what the truth is. And yet, to even care about or act on the truth, you have to have some visceral, emotional, willful connection to why you ought to do anything, i.e., to what the meaning of it all is. Metaethically, we would be wise to philosophically bring science and religion together, because loving and accepting whatever you think ultimate reality is means at some point caring socially at least and acting during this life on what is ultimately true and reasonable about this physical, natural reality. The spirals we've described now tie what we think we know is real with what the fragile, mortal, insignificant human ego or self, searching for the reason to live, inevitably senses it ought to connect to. This is not the prescription of a dogmatic circular path. Rather, it describes a natural, spiraling process of spiritual and metaethical growth. Connecting the dialectical circular processes of religion used properly in the best of modern science shows the most logical, foundational, socially and objectively noble place where our subjectively motivated selves can want to connect with grand, unified purpose to this reality. It turns out that the different locations on this spiraling circle between the ego and ultimate reality can, in corresponding scientific and religious terms, be fairly reliably labeled. Now you can see how focusing on the rose mandala may resolve the debate between science and religion, particularly here, where the circles come together. Part 3, the last of the first rose mandala PowerPoint video, will show the way the full rose mandala harmonizes the subjective and objective religious and scientific dance archetypically. With the way the human consciousness needs to grow in wisdom and functionality in the world, and how at least one ancient cultural tradition has recognized the centrality of this process.